Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at song number 2 off of Sleep Token's album Sundowning. I recently did The Night Does Not Belong to God. I'm going to go through the whole album, so keep an eye out for that playlist as I add more videos to it. But with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the start of The Offering. Once again, we have a visualizer, so it's nice to have something. We're just getting right into it with this one. That's a short intro for Sleep Token. So this is interesting. We start very much like most Sleep Token tracks, right? We've got kind of a motif to get us into it. It's not as slow of a build as it has been in other tracks in their discography. But we do get this, repetitive motif here, which is very reminiscent of kind of what they did in the last song with the Night Does Not Belong to God. They had that little synth 3-note thing that pretty much just permeated the song. So we get the same thing here. But the guitars come in a lot quicker. So we just very long, drawn out chords that there is movement going on. But it's not a fast riff. It's just kind of something we sit in for a while. I did want to point out some of the images I'm seeing on the visualizer. We've got a lot of fire imagery. We saw people kind of dancing around a fire. We saw, the night sky, as we do here, kind of with the aurora borealis here. And then candles, which I think kind of goes into my kind of theory or interpretation that sundowning is representing a ritual, which would make sense with the song called The Offering, right? So let's just keep going here.
You are a garden entwined with all. You are the silence.
That motif still going in the background, very, very lightly.
Shores, you've got diamonds for teeth, my love. So take a bite of me just once. I want to turn the page once again. Oh, take a bite.
I got to talk about Vessel here because in terms of discography, like this is kind of the first time we hear immediately kind of like the full range of what he can do when he's doing his like clean singing, right? Um, he likes to embellish a lot, which is part of just the way he sings. So he very rarely just holds notes out. Here you can hear him going up and down and kind of like trailing. There's a lot of breathing right into the mic, which is a staple of their sound, right? Um, and just the eeriness of kind of when he says take a bite, but he's just kind of breathing it, barely letting his voice come through. It's just kind of a whisper, which kind of gives me that feeling of this awe-inspired vessel, right? Just sitting there, offering something up to sleep, right? Trying to get her to come and what I think is kind of invade him fully, right? it's very haunting. And once again, like I pointed out, that motif is still going on in the background, but we switched to more of a um, piano focused section here right before we bring back the long drawn out heavy chords that the guitar is doing.
Say goodbye.
The drummer can't ignore him. He's just doing fills all over the place. The motif in the background is very slightly different.
This is again an offering in your favor, a sacrifice in your name, but I know you've got to say so.
Just throwing his voice around so much. We're getting a very full sound here. I still hear that motif in the background. Gosh, Vessel's vocals here are some of the best, I think, on any song that they've done. At really just portraying that kind of desperation and longing by just having these runs where he's done with the word, but he just needs to keep going, right? And there are other vocalists who do this type of thing, and I usually don't like it that much when it's overdone, but Vessels is so unique because he injects so much personality into each little bit of it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to do a run because I want to do a run. There's like a breathy ending where he like kind of breathes through his teeth or like flips up into falsetto or something or lets his voice crack. It's like imperfections in it that really sell it. It's not, I mean, obviously his vocals are very well produced, but it's not overproduced to the point of other artists I've heard where it sounds more like it's auto-tuned with the runs. He'll let those things come through, which really sell the song and make you feel what he's feeling. It's pretty incredible. We get this very loose guitar sound here. It's like detuning there even. Just tuned down so low.
Say goodbye.
God, it's a chunky riff. Oh. What a tasty little fill there too, on the drums. I really like this riff. It's going to play us out here, but one thing that I kind of missed on "Take Me Back to Eden" when they would kind of hit the apex of like a heavy section is it felt less like there were riffs and more like it was just a super down-tuned guitar that was playing a rhythm, if that makes sense. This is a riff. it goes from like the high part to kind of some chugging, and then it like drops an octave and does some chugging again, but it carries the song forward in this sustained heavy section, I think a lot better than some of the heavy sections on Take Me Back to Eden do. Um, I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to critique here. Like, I love the heavy sections on Take Me Back to Eden, but like I said, they seem more like they're for the impact rather than writing a riff, if that makes sense. I don't even know what all I'm hearing on the drums. They're like ghost notes and like all kinds of little intricacies there. There's the really eerie piano part in the back is really cool. Still got this ritual imagery here. I think even saw like a wildfire kind of going on. Sleep Token does love their fade outs too. Now, I know why they're doing a fade out here. It's to get us into the next song, which is going to bring things down a lot more. So I do know why they did it. I know that there's kind of a lot of people who don't like fade outs. I don't prefer them, but in the context of the album, sometimes I see why artists choose to do it. But anyway, that's the offering. I know that I focused, or I didn't really look at the visualizer, honestly. I was so focused on listening to the music. The visualizer was cool. We get a lot of things to kind of maybe clue us into what Vessel wants us to take from this song. I'm going to look at the lyrics here in a second, but I did want to talk about the sigil right quick as well. So we do have this triangle. Last video I theorized that this was kind of taking from summoning sigils. The triangle usually kind of, I think, symbolizes like an invitation. And we see this object kind of going into the triangle. So maybe this is kind of like Vessel inviting Sleep in. This little, I don't know what you would call it, this little circle with like a hook at the end. To me, it kind of looks like maybe hands, like outstretched, like offering, right? If that makes sense. That's just me kind of reaching. Who knows exactly what we're meant to get from this, but that's kind of what I see. Once again, let's go look at the lyrics. This song is surprisingly short in terms of lyrical content. It doesn't sound that way because Vessel really does just draw out every syllable and takes you on this journey. But we see this deification of sleep immediately, kind of talking about sleep being a garden, being silence on sacred shores. So this idea of the divine, trying to reach to the divine. And we, of course, get our first reference to diamonds and teeth, specifically saying, "You've got diamonds for teeth, my love. Take a bite of me just once." This is something that, if we look forward in the discography, you've got songs like Jaws, you've got songs like Vor, you've got songs like Take Me Back to Eden, grow back your sharpest teeth, fight through these wires, that kind of thing. Sleep is something that Vessel deifies, but is also kind of dangerous, right? Here he's kind of begging her to take a bite of him, to come be with him, kind of the Vor analogy, but instead of it being like the scary looking, the praying mantis type thing, it's kind of like a be one with me idea, I think. And then he says, I want to turn the page once again. So in the context of the trilogy, I don't know if that means that we have come full circle, right? And we're going to go through this whole journey again, or if this is just kind of Bessel saying that he's done this ritual a bunch of times. I don't know. That's kind of open for interpretation, I think. The offering that he's talking about in this song, it says, a giving, an offering in your favor, sacrifice in your name, but I know you've got a taste, so just take a bite of me. This implies to me that Bessel himself is the sacrifice, the offering that he wants Sleep to have. Now, I think we'll see. I'm not going to get too much into that because I think we're going to see the specifics of that in upcoming songs, what that means for him. But of course, the end goal is for him to be back with Sleep, to be with her. Give in again and let me lay. My arms belong around you. Just this pleading to be back with Sleep. So this is, I think, one of the strongest Sleep Token songs. Just as a full package, it flows really well. I like the way that he uses that like little motif at the start throughout the entire song. It changes up slightly here and there, but it gives us a thread. The guitar tone is great. I like the way that the guitar riffs kind of are creative in this one. But those are my thoughts on The Offering. Let me know how you feel about this song. I feel like this is kind of a fan favorite. They usually play it live, from what I understand. Whenever I saw them, they played this song. So, yeah, I guess just let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one.